All right. Welcome to tonight's very first home wrestling match at the brand new Williams Gymnasium in Anacortes, Washington. My name is Spencer Andrich, and I'm here with fellow commentator Edmundo Corrales.
Thank you for having me, Spencer. I'm excited to be here. It's nice to have wrestling back in the gym on campus, along with the rest of the sports this fall and winter that got to experience that. It's really exciting.
Yeah, and especially again, we have a newly renovated facility here at Williams Gymnasium.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we just found out, got news that the spotlight for tonight is unavailable.
That is correct. So we did everything we could to scramble. We were told that the spotlight was going to be able to work. And for those who haven't experienced that spotlight, it's essentially the entire gym is dark. There's a single light hanging really low off of the mat, and it's really exciting, really awesome, especially as it's senior night tonight. It's our last home duel. So folks at home might be wondering why there's a giant ladder in the background. We were scrambling as far as we could, but
we tried our best. We had our best people on it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. So we're working with what we have.
Yes.
And let's see, Mundo, could you tell us? You mentioned it is senior night, and who are our seniors this evening?
So tonight we've got Aiden Ufkis. He's one of our seniors. He's wrestling at 170 pounds.
Okay.
And then at 126 pounds, we've got Josh Pittis wrestling. So right now, we're just going through our announcements. So right now, he just announced Aiden Ufkis wrestling. He's out there on the mat shaking hands, and we come back, and we'll have about 3 more weight classes for the introductions.
Fantastic. It'll be, it's always seniors night. It's always a special night, and these two gentlemen with the program for 4 years each, I believe.
Right.
And tonight we'll be starting out at the weight class of 132 with Gavin Lang from Anacortes and Juan Aguilar of Squalicum.
Right. And Gavin's a sophomore. He's one of the leaders so far for the underclassmen, and we're really excited to start out with a bang, having Gavin start wrestling and kind of start the pace with all our wrestlers tonight.
And you mentioned Gavin being a sophomore,
right?
Is that correct? And so I guess we're a pretty young team.
Right. Aside from the seniors, we have 2 seniors like we've been talking about, Josh Pittis and Aiden Ufkis. We've got a couple juniors, and the rest of the majority of our wrestlers are 9th and 10th graders.
So I guess, as young teams are, it bodes well for the future.
Oh, yeah.
And, as always, the senior leadership is really important kind of on any squad.
Absolutely.
So we're going to pause here for a second while we do the national anthem. And we're back.
And we're back. Captains are out in the middle of the mat. They're going to be flipping the coin for our bouts as far as, like we talked about early before we started. Typically how it would work is there's a coin toss in every match and every bout. And so we'll flip the coin once, and then the second period choice of whether to want to start from bottom, top, or neutral will alternate back and forth between the teams rather than just going each individual match.
Great. We were fortunate to have Mr. Corrales with us tonight, as he is an assistant coach on the Anacortes Hawks wrestling team. So, Edmundo, for amateurs like myself and viewers at home, you see the referee wearing a green band on his right arm and a red band on the left arm. What do those colors signify?
So as far as scoring goes in a tournament or anything where you might have different colors of wrestlers, it's essentially for the scorers to be able to see when he's awarding points. So he'll award points for Anacortes with his red band, and he'll award points to Squalicum with his green banding. So that way, anybody watching can kind of still follow along. Like he might signal a takedown and hold up 2 fingers or 3 or 1 point for corresponding.
And we're about to start with our first bout of the night, which once again is at 132 weight class. That is Gavin Lang from Anacortes and Juan Aguilar from Squalicum. And here we go.
We're looking for Gavin Lang to start aggressive. He's had a really, really solid season. He's been competing in some of our tournaments that we've traveled pretty far to get to, 2, 3, 4 hours away, and had a strong season so far. There's Gavin with the 2-point takedown. So my mistake, Anacortes, we're going to be the green wristband if anyone following at home wants to watch those scoring. So he stopped. We'll start back at referee's position with Juan Aguilar on the bottom position.
And we'll do our best, again, viewers at home, to kind of update you on the score. We're trying to get a score sheet with graphics in there. We've experienced technical difficulties currently, and again, we'll try our best to keep you updated.
So there's Gavin giving up a 1-point escape to Juan Aguilar, and there he is right on the bat, going shooting for the high crotch. And all he's got to do is get his right arm back around, and we got 2 points for a takedown work in. He's going to be climbing up the body. There's the 2 points on the takedown for Gavin. So he is up 4-1 over Juan Aguilar of Squalicum.
So, Muto, tell me a little bit about Gavin's wrestling style, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been wrestling for quite a while now.
He has been. So Gavin Lang, it was an awesome connection that his father is alum of Oak Harbor High School, where I also went. And so being a young kid, his dad was a big wrestler, and his family was really big into wrestling. And so I know that he's got it in his blood, and you can tell and you can see that he's a young wrestler, but he looks like he's been wrestling for a long time. He's got kind of the experience of someone you'd expect from a senior. There you just got a quick 3-point near fall, so Gavin is up 7-1 right now with 33 seconds left in the first period.
So can we talk a little bit maybe about the lines there? We see the circles, and when is a wrestler considered out of bounds?
So a wrestler, typically in high school in folk style wrestling, there's points of contact. So right now you can see there are 3 feet in the mat. So it's usually going to be up to the referees, his jurisdiction of whether there's things like safety, how fast they're moving out of bounds. But typically when you have most of your points of contact out of bounds, he'll call that. So if 4 feet are on the ground, and once you get 2 in and 2 out, it's still kind of neutral. But once that third foot steps out, he'll stop it and restart. So we have about 7 seconds left in the match. Gavin looking to just ride him out into the second period, up 7-1.
And that signals the end of the first period. Again, Anacortes, Gavin Lang at 132 is up 7-1 to Squalicum's Juan Aguilar. Here we start the second period.
Second period, Gavin Lang had the choice. He's going to choose top, up 7-1. So we'll start a fresh 2 minutes. Waiting referee signal for the cover and a start. There's a whistle. Gavin Lang working to a spiral right. He's got his right hand on the inner thigh pry, working him forward. Aguilar working to stand up and look to get an escape for 1 point or a reversal for 2 points. There's Gavin dropping to a single leg. Got him out a long single leg, looking to bring him down. So when a wrestler on bottom is trying to stand up and escape, the person who has control of him has got a certain amount of time to take him down. Otherwise, he can get a stall call. So Gavin Lang there, you saw drop to a single leg. That's a very veteran move to do. Got him back on the round. Now he's working his left arm.
So if you're Juan Aguilar, what do you have to do in order to escape and get that 1 point? Because he was able to stand, yet Gavin still had his leg.
Correct.
And that is not a 1 point. It's 1 point if...
So essentially, the ruling is a loss of control. So Gavin's got him turned, got the referee counting back points in near fall. All he's got to do is back points. He's got 3 points. There's the fall on the whistle. 1 minute into the second round, Gavin Lang. So that'll be 16 points for Anacortes.
16 points.
6 team
Okay,
points,
there we go.
So 6 overall points that will go to our team. So after the first duel now, today we had quite a few forfeits. So we are forfeiting, we as in Anacortes, are forfeiting 5 weight classes. So that's 5 weight classes that we were unable to fill with wrestlers.
And that's pretty common around this area, or is this kind of more for Anacortes tonight?
I think school size has a lot to do with it. Sometimes you have a bigger school. Like Squalicum's a little bit bigger of a school. They've been able to fill out. Now we've had some sickness. We've had some injuries that have kind of limited us. So.
And currently wrestling, we're at 138 from Anacortes. We have James Fredericks wrestling against Daniel Lopez of Squalicum.
Exactly.
And
James is a 9th grader, but same thing as Gavin. He's had a lot of experience, so he got a quick looking to get a takedown. He's got to get behind the guy. James has got to get behind Daniel's hips for 2 points. There he is, behind the hips and looking to go for a cross wrist.
2-point takedown for Fredericks.
Awesome. And James, he's been really a quick learn and understudy of Josh, our senior, and Gavin Lang. They're kind of right in that same weight class, and so he's been getting a lot of good coaching. Do you have James in class?
I don't. I think James must have the AP Human Geography route. But that is so cool, especially to see freshmen, wrestle varsity.
Right.
I have experience with that. I had 0 experience, and getting thrust into a freshman varsity role can be challenging. But James seems to be handling that role just fine as he turns his opponent on his back.
Awesome. He's got him locked up pretty well on his back. There we go. That was a quick fall for James Fredericks. 1 minute, 10 seconds into the first period. That was awesome. And so some of our, as you can see, just like Gavin Lang, some of our JV guys were wrestling before the broadcast. We're really trying to be aggressive. Really trying to be aggressive on our shots, being the person to be attacking, and then going for that near fall or the pin.
And it's really showing tonight as Anacortes is coming out strong, getting pins on the very first 2 matches at 132 and 138.
Absolutely.
And now we are at 145 with Anacortes taking a forfeit to Nuno Antunes of Squalicum.
And so these forfeits, and that's one of the big tough parts about duels, is that for every forfeit, you're giving your team the same amount of points as if you got a pin. So those pins from Gavin Lang and the pin from James Fredericks, they're huge. So where we start out at 12 points, and we're getting as many points as possible.
All right, so after the forfeit, it takes us to 152 weight class, where we have another forfeit from Anacortes.
Correct. So
and that is Dante Jimenez taking the 6 points for Squalicum.
So after the first 4 bouts, after this forfeit, we will be at a 12-12 team score. Unfortunately, it can kind of show you how we get 2 pins, and they have 2 that they don't even wrestle a match, and it's a tied match right now. So now we'll pick up at 160 pounds, and we'll have Tony Rios wrestling against Hayden Flaherty of Squalicum. Tony also is a sophomore, so we have, like we said, a really young team working. Looking for Tony to kind of pick up where he's been.
And do we know what grade sees that Hayden Flaherty is?
Correct. I do not.
And here we go.
Good. A lot of movement. A lot of time you'll see wrestlers, and it's hard to judge a wrestler by how quickly they're moving around or how scrappy they might be looking, because sometimes it shows a little bit of inexperience, but other times it's motion is a really strong, powerful wrestling tool. So Tony looking to work on getting in and out of a tie.
And did Tony wrestle for the Seahawks last year, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And Tony's one of the veterans also who's been wrestling for a long time. He went through the Hawkeyes, and if there are any Hawkeyes out there watching, keep wrestling.
And for those of you who don't know, Hawkeyes are the youth program in
That is
Anacortes.
correct.
And is that elementary and middle school?
That is elementary and middle school.
Okay.
There he goes. Anthony taking a high cross, short, getting stubborn. He's in a front headlock right now, looking to get out or work from that front headlock. Hayden getting clear in the front headlock, working an inside tie, looking to get some wrist control.
A lot of head movement here for both wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
Hand fighting and.
It's definitely one of those things that they might not be running, but they're working really hard.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone out there who's in better shape than a wrestler. I think it's one of the most, they work harder than anybody, both in practice and in matches.
Good. Both wrestlers, about 35 seconds left on the first period. Both working to get some tie. No points on the board yet. Both working ties. A little defensive. No one taking any shots yet, so we're really excited to get Tony working. 22 seconds left. And for right now, as far as a coach, you just don't want your wrestler to start backing out. You want them to stay aggressive, keep the forward pressure, not take any poor shots, not look to throw or do anything with 10 seconds left in the game. So 8 seconds down. At this point right now, either take a nice safe shot or just ride it out in 3, 2. There's a good shot and a great takedown with 1 second left. That is an awesome. Hey, any coach is going to see that. That smart shot scored 2 points. So now Tony takes a 2-point lead, which in a match, as in watching this one right now, it's going to be a really tight match, come down to the wire. And so as long as Tony can ride it out, Tony's going to. There we go. Red's choice for this match. Red's choosing top. Tony's going to be on the bottom. So which in a lot of cases is going to be an advantage because my hope and as a coach's hope is that Tony is not going to allow this wrestler to turn him or keep him down for the whole second period. So as we start the second period, Tony Rios up 2-0 on Hayden Flaherty from Squalicum.
And what great awareness of the time for Tony to get that takedown with literally 1 second left on the clock.
Oh, yeah. And so, you can see, as I was saying, ride it out, maybe take a smart shot, and he was doing exactly that.
So in a close match like this, if you're Tony, getting that escape or reversal here is really key.
Exactly. And so what Tony cannot do is ultimately give in and let him turn him and pin him. But Tony's either got to work to get an escape, but not give up any back points because Squalicum can get. There's Tony up to his feet, working to get an escape. Hopefully he can stay in bounds. Hopefully he can stay in bounds and stay from his feet. He's right about there. There he goes, sinking in on the single. They might get a reversal for 2 points. He's got to work to keep his hips up. Hayden's still working to turn him.
We got 1 minute, 1 minute 5 seconds left in the second period. It seems to be a back and forth bout.
Hayden really working a half right there, working a half Nelson. Tony is being really mentally tough. I mean, it takes a lot of toughness to have your arms like a pretzel and not turn over to your back, where a lot of young new wrestlers might give up and just roll over. You can see Tony he's really working. He's got to step up, and it's all mental at this point for Tony. He's doing a great job staying on bottom. The worst case scenario, Tony doesn't score any points. There's 32 seconds left in this second period.
And if you're Tony and you're coach from Anacortes, that's okay, right? Or are you really looking for that 1 point escape?
It's essentially a free point. As long as Tony can get out and get an escape, he's got 21 seconds to get an escape. What we don't and can't have, is any back points. So Anacortes coach pleading for a full Nelson and an illegal move, and that would have gotten Tony a point right there.
So we have
referee did
7
not see
seconds.
it. 4 seconds. So it's going to be up to the ref. I don't know if he's going to say he counted to 3 and got 2 near fall on that, which is what we were trying to avoid. But right now, it's 2-2. Tony got the 2 takedown. Squalicum got the 2 near fall points. So we're going to start period 3, tied 2-2.
Both wrestlers getting points in the last seconds.
Right.
So this third period is going to decide the match.
This is all heart, and this is kind of the stuff that you love to watch. There's Tony with a quick duck and a 2-point takedown right off the whistle. Now if Tony can wrestle smart, stay behind the hips, maybe get a turn and pin. So Anacortes coaches can be pleading for a pin because we want 16 points.
Because when we're forfeiting this many matches, I mean, you really are looking for pins against that 6 points.
Exactly. If Tony wins right now, it's 4-2. He's up 4 points to 2. If he wins just 4-2, that's only 3 team points for us. And if we get another one, so you can essentially double your points. If he gets 3 points for this win, it's going to take another 3-point victory just to equal 1 forfeit. So coaches are going to be pleading for him to get a turn and get pinned.
Looks like Hayden has Tony's leg. Tony's struggling to get back behind. It looks like we have
We're going to have just what we like to call a spaghetti or a noodle or cycle wrestling. Hayden giving the reversal, and now it is 4-4. So now we're really fighting for Tony. At this point of the match, there's 1 minute left. It's a lot of heart. It's going to be all heart for Tony to score.
So again, for viewers at home, if Tony, we still have a lot of time left, but Tony gets 1 point, that could be the deciding point in this match.
That could be it. So Tony's going to have to work to score. Crowd's starting to get into it. Refs, fans, players, wrestlers are starting to get their voices up, pleading for their team to get up. There's 33 seconds left. Tie 4-4. There's Tony with an escape. So he is up by 1 point. So what he cannot do is give up a takedown. So Tony's going to be getting aggressive. Tony's going to have to be aggressive right here. 22 seconds left. Hayden's going to be trying to shoot, snap, and score 2 points on a takedown.
Both wrestlers looking hard or tired.
There's a shot from Hayden. Tony's going to be blocking the knees, not letting him get behind, not letting him get behind. He's going to have to whizzer. 9 seconds left. Tony fights off the shot. He's going to have to keep going. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 2 seconds. There we go. There's the win, 5-4, and that is an incredible match.
That was definitely the most competitive bout we've seen tonight. Tony Rios winning by 1 point in a 5-4 decision.
You know, it's hard to sit here and watch these matches because typically I'd be over on the side in the chairs, yelling stuff, going along. So, you know, my heart's pounding, my blood's pumping. You know, it may not have been exactly how we wrote it up for Tony to win or wrestle that match, but he did a great job at showing heart, not giving up, being aggressive. And I mean, if you can see him right now on the side, he's everything's out of the tank. He's breathing hard.
And at the end of a match, in Mundo, if the wrestling match is tied, there is extra time.
There is extra time. There is an overtime, and hopefully we can experience that and talk about that for our viewers at home. Right now, Aiden Upkiss, senior from Anacortes High School, wrestling at 170 pounds. He is wrestling Ian McDevitt from Squalicum. So Aiden Upkiss has been one of our seniors. He's one of our leaders on the team. Solid personality. He's been traveling a lot with our wrestlers to the tournaments the same way, and he's looking to kind of cap off his career. He was a state participant last year. He's looking to get back to it. He started off the season wrestling some heavier weights and really taking one for the team, wrestling those upper weights so we could score points and not have those forfeits. Both wrestlers kind of working. Aiden's in a front headlock right now, looking to get some position. Good foot wrestling. Squalicum with the single leg, Aiden working.
A lot of action and still no points.
Squalicum working for the 2 points, got the takedown. Aiden is on his back. He's got that was faster than I was hoping it would be. So, I mean, you can see at home, like if you are on your back, it can be pinned pretty quick. You know, you can be up by a lot of points, and the other guy's hand's going to be being raised really quickly.
And that's the first non-forfeit win for Squalicum tonight. Again, that was at 170, and that was Ian McDevitt pinning Aiden Upkiss in the first period. Now we'll go to 182, where again Anacortes has to take that forfeit to Squalicum's Cole Wilson. The next match will be wrestling tonight at 195 is Squalicum's Dylan Coho versus Anacortes' sophomore Oscar Funes.
Correct. So you said sophomore. Does that mean you know Oscar?
Yeah, so I had Oscar last year. He had a modern world history. Great kid. Excited to see what he has in store for us tonight.
The fun thing about now, will you tell everybody what you teach here at the high school?
I'm sorry.
Will you tell everybody what you teach at the high school?
Oh, yeah. So, again, that's 9th grade modern world history and 11th and 12th grade civics. And, Mundo, you are currently teaching.
I teach Spanish. I am teaching Spanish level 1, Spanish level 2. And Oscar I actually have in my advisory. So I had him last year as a 9th grader, and I'll see him through graduation. So I'll see plenty of Oscar in the classroom every year, and hopefully every year wrestling also. But like you said, he's a great kid.
Yeah, and it's fun, you know, to be both a teacher and then see these kids back, you know, in athletics as well. You really get to know them, especially outside of that classroom environment.
Absolutely. So Squalicum looking to be heavy on Oscar's head, and luckily Oscar's kind of in the what I would call the upper weights, and so he gets to work with myself, with some of the other coaches, with Garrett Bickley, who's a 9th grade 220-pounder. Oscar, we're going to get the 2 points. There he gets behind the hips for a 2-point takedown.
And Oscar moving with a lot of speed and agility out there.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got that motor when he wants to get it. There we go, working to work a near wrist and jam. We call it a wrist and jam. We'll just leave it at wrist and jam. Yeah. Looking to get a hammer lock. Hopefully he can pop out that left wrist out across Squalicum's back. And I personally do get to wrestle with Oscar a lot and get to see him a lot and take him to tournaments. But he's a young guy that I hope he keeps sticking it out, and he's been getting better and better. Coach is pleading out some moves to try and facilitate this hammer lock he's trying to pop out.
And that's one thing I remember about wrestling matches is always the coaches who are on the sidelines kind of yelling instructions to the young wrestlers.
Right, and I'm really biting my tongue to not yell at him as he's, 10 feet from me. 40 seconds left in this match. Oscar Funes has a 3-point to 0 lead over Squalicum. Squalicum had given up a point for a technical violation before the match started. Squalicum wrestler had a wristband on, which unfortunately is one of those you can tell that a younger wrestler might do something like that, whereas our seniors wrestling we would expect them to kind of have that rules. So hopefully that Squalicum wrestler will learn from that. 13 seconds on the clock.
And you're saying that was a wristband?
Correct. He had a little rubber wristband on.
Oh, it was thrown over here. That's right.
So 11 seconds, 12 seconds on the clock. Oscar will start on the top of the referee's position.
So with 12 seconds left in the period, is Oscar trying to get any points? Is he just trying to hold on?
He's just trying to hold him down, get him broken down, get him turned. Now, as we've seen already, you can get some back points really quickly. You can get an escape or reversal really quickly. But I think that we're wanting just Oscar to, at the minimum, just keep working forward to get back points. And if he doesn't, that's okay.
So as we begin the second period, again, this is at the 195 weight class. Anacortes' Oscar is currently up 3-0.
So Oscar's going to be at the bottom. Squalicum had the choice, and they chose top here. Typically, as you get an upper weights, wrestlers will pick the top because after second, third period, you're starting to get tired. It's hard to get out from anything. Oscar hopefully can keep that motor, roll around. Now, I think he should be able to hit good base underneath there. He's working towards his feet. As long as he keeps cycling and working, I think he's going to be able to get up out of here.
Looks like that Hayden's working on a cradle, it seems like.
That is correct. Trying to drive him. And a lot of times those upper weights, you can get away with just leaning your weight on guys as they start to get tired.
Unfortunately, I remember being on the other end of that cradle, and it is no fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's never fun to be on bottom, so we kind of try and teach, like, it's really hard and painful for a few seconds, but once you're out, you don't have to live there anymore. And so Oscar is hopefully fighting across this cross face. Dylan Coho looking to get him on a cross face cradle. Oscar doing a good job sliding that cross face off his head. 1 minute, 11 seconds in the second period to go. Oscar's still up 3-0. Now we're just looking for Oscar to score. Now he can score by getting a reversal. He can score by just standing up and getting an escape. He's working towards a base. There's a good roll. He's got a far leg. Hopefully Oscar can keep that. There's a little bit of a scramble.
Seems like the crowd's starting to get into it now. Both benches are yelling at their wrestlers, yelling support, that is. Oscar doing a good job of not being turned and still returning to his base.
Absolutely. Thirty-five seconds. Ooh, we're on the same page already. 32 seconds now. Looking to just score. Both coaches, both teams are just going to be yelling at their wrestlers to score. Dylan working a half Nelson, a wrist and half. He's got the left arm of Oscar and right half Nelson. Oscar's working it off. See the team from Anacortes shouting, trying to fight for 10 seconds to get out and score.
Now, stalling can be called on both wrestlers. Is that correct?
That's correct. So stalling is going to be called if they're not working to improve their position. So in this case, if Dylan, Oscar almost with a quick reversal or a point. The referee deemed that Squalicum still had control at the buzzer, so no points were awarded.
So what I've noticed so far from Anacortes is really the aggression that takes place from Anacortes in the last couple seconds of a round. Is that something that's instilled? Is that the coaching staff that's really instilled that in the wrestlers, or is that the wrestlers taking the motive on themselves?
I think a little bit of everything. I mean, obviously coaches want wrestlers to be having that motor the whole time, but I think it gives you that advantage of either knowing where you're at on the mat, if you can take an aggressive call, and if you don't get it, you just slide out of bounds, or having a few seconds left to try and score quickly. So Oscar had the choice for third period. It's 3-0 still, and Oscar chose the top position. There's Dylan getting a reversal, and Oscar on his back, and that was a near pin. Oh man, that is a tough loss for Oscar, and I know that we as a team are going to kind of have to talk about that and remind Oscar how well he was doing in that match and how quickly it can change, like we talked about. He was up 3-0, had the top position, and it changed at the very last second, and a pin and 6 points for Squalicum.
And you're right, he really did a great job throughout the entire match, and as any wrestling bout goes, fatigue is part of it, and Oscar looked like he kind of ran out of gas there.
Oh yeah, so here we have a replay of Oscar's scramble for his first takedown. As you can see, that aggression we were talking about, just flying over. Now we have 220 pounds, Garrett Bickley. So Garrett, 220-pound, 9th grade wrestler. He's going to be looking to be aggressive, heavy on the hands. He's going to be wrestling Adam McCluskey from Squalicum, 220 pounds. Adam McCluskey's got the inside and takedown. on Garrett, 2 points for
2-point takedown from
Adam.
And Garrett is another freshman on this young Anacortes wrestling team.
Absolutely. And so Garrett, fortunately, his dad is one of the middle school wrestlers also, wrestling coaches also. And so football is his kind of motivator to come and wrestle, and that's something that I appreciate from my own history, why I wanted to come and wrestle. Garrett's on his back right now. Adam getting back points, looking for a pin. He's getting near fall. He's got his 3 points. And there's the pin. 50 seconds in the first period, and so Garrett, my biggest battle as far as coaching Garrett is trying to keep him motivated, because I know that football is his motivation to come out, and having that been my experience with wrestling.
But
it's
like
something that
anything
I
else,
look forward.
wrestling is a good, winter training opportunity for any football player, I imagine,
Absolutely.
and vice versa. For football players training for wrestling. They're both very physical sports that I'm sure help each other out in the long run.
Absolutely. So with Garrett giving up that pin, we have the 6 points more for Squalicum. Team scores 36, Squalicum 15, Anacortes. We're going to wrap back from our 220 to a heavyweight, which Anacortes will have a forfeit and drop back down to 106 pounds at the very top for us. Eric Guzman, 9th grade wrestler, another 9th grade wrestler. Eric's wrestling in our light weight class at 106 pounds. Seems to be some kind of communication going on at the head table. We're going to have a forfeit at 106 pounds from Squalicum.
So Anacortes gets the forfeit this go around. Again, that's 16 points to Anacortes. And you were saying earlier, Eric, freshman wrestler, first time wrestling, I believe.
Right, and it was almost on a, I don't have him in class, and I don't know if it was me talking or his other teammates or classmates talking, but I remember asking him, hey, Eric, you should come wrestle. Just willing to try everything. Seeing him,
And this is a kid with a great attitude,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm sure he has a really bright future ahead of him at Anacortes.
Absolutely.
And as you can see, he seems to be kind of the lighter end of his own weight class.
He is definitely on the lighter end of his weight class, and so we're hoping in the future that he can continue to develop and grow. That's the 106-pound weight class, so at 113 pounds, we're going to go ahead and give back 6 points to Squalicum.
So that's Ian McDevitt of Squalicum, and Anacortes taking the forfeit.
Absolutely. Unfortunately. Teams can do a lot of things to try and get guys to wrestle down a weight class or up a weight class to try and fill out a lineup. Gone are the days when people, lost 30 pounds or, wore plastic bags.
And that's probably a good thing.
Yes,
I remember even 10 years ago, back when, we were wrestling,
Oh, yeah.
10, 12 years ago. And it seemed to be a little bit different, different time back then. And I'm glad that, they're looking out for the wrestlers' health more and more.
120 pounds, Joey Chonka. Guess what grade he is?
That is another 9th grader for Anacortes.
9th grader for Anacortes. Same thing, great attitude. Solid wrestler. He's had a lot of experience now. He's going to be in a tough weight class right now with a lot of older wrestlers in that 120-pound weight class. 2 points for Squalicum.
I feel like that's always been a very competitive weight class. The 120s, the fast, strong, strappy gentlemen.
Right. There's a lot of action there. 120, 126 pounds. 120 is where Josh Pittis has wrestled this year, our senior, where Gavin Lang has been right around too.
How much movement is there between each bout and wrestlers moving weight classes? Is that kind of a team strategy?
Right. So obviously, you could wrestle up a weight class without having to lose or gain weight, but you have to be down a certain weight to be able to get to that weight class. I would say maybe 5 to 10 pounds is kind of like your standard
threshold.
Right.
Joey Chonka working hard off his back.
Not able to get a reversal, but able to get off his back, which is great. So it's going to be a 3-point near fall for Squalicum for Hiram. He's up 5-0 with 45 seconds left to go in the first period.
So am I seeing that right? We only have one match left tonight.
That is correct.
That is the 126, and that is Josh Pittis coming up next for Anacortes. Joey Chonka doing a wonderful job getting off his back, staying strong, trying to hang in there for the last 25 seconds here.
He is in a tough pickle right now, and there's the pin. And Joey, just like most of our wrestlers, these 9th graders, they're learning a ton right now, and they're going to be kind of that core as we keep moving forward and having some sophomores in Gavin Lang, working up and getting older. Tony Rios, a couple guys getting older, being leaders, and hopefully we can get a couple of their friends from it.
And, and at this age too, ninth grade, a lot of these gentlemen are still, growing every year.
Absolutely.
And with wrestling, technique is such a big part of it, I remember. And so,
yeah.
I hope that they stick with it.
So not 113 pounds. Josh is going to be wrestling at 126 right now. This is going to be our last bout of the night. Joey Pittis looking to be aggressive. Joey's a great shot. He's got some great shots, clearing some ties, looking to circle and get offensive. So I would be willing to bet Josh is going to get and take the first shot tonight. Both a lot of movement, flying around.
Yeah, it looks like definitely a lot more speed compared to those heavier weights you were seeing earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Different type of wrestling, I'd imagine.
Quick in, quick out, movement, side to side. There's a shot. There's a getting the single, working to finish it. Jose able to fight out of that, working to get that snap down. He's got an over. Back to their feet, both wrestlers, and they're back to neutral, no scoring.
Is this the first time Anacortes has faced Squalicum this year?
In a duel, correct.
In a duel, okay.
Yes. So, with our tournaments, you can wrestle at 1, 2, 3, 4A schools, some B schools. But typically for duels, it'll just be your own classification. And so this is going to be a non-league competition for us tonight.
At Squalicum is 3A.
Correct.
And we are wrestling at 2A.
Correct. Josh is one of those kind of silent leaders. He definitely works really hard. Does everything you ask him to do. Willing to go up or down a weight class. He'll push guys. Really, really a smart wrestler. In fact, that he's watching, gets that far ankle, working to dug out behind. Cradle around the legs, should be 2 points for him. There he is around the legs, climbing up the body. Working to get that bar on the left side too.
And I imagine as a coach, it's always like the seniors, the coachable wrestlers who you really miss.
Oh yeah.
You hope you wish them the best, but a kid like Josh, hopefully maybe he'll come back and keep coaching those younger wrestlers.
That's right, and he's one of those guys that you hope the kids are watching. So he's got a double arm bar working to get him over. This is going to be one of those 2 seconds left, maybe get a couple count. No count, no change, so we'll end the first period up 2-0 with Josh Pittis on top. It's going to be Squalicum's choice going in the second round. He's going to pick neutral. So Josh making it in the third round, he'll get the choice. So we'll both start neutral. Josh up 2-0. We're going to get those slide by singles. Nice safe shots, stay on the outside, staying quick. Now some of the other matches that we've been watching, guys were heavy on heads, guys were getting tied up. These guys both kind of similar styles, staying loose, staying distance, looking for some outside shots. Josh looking to get the cover. There's a 2-point takedown for Josh. Getting some back points as we go. There's a ref counting on his back, trying to keep him on his back, climbing up his body. Squalicum's going to be trying to slide out of bounds. Josh is doing a good job of settling. Referee's counted. There he's down to 5, so he's got his near fall. There's the pin. There's the fall. And in the night, with the senior night, Josh Pittis with a fall, with a pin. 1 minute, less than a minute into the second round. That's a good way to end and good taste to leave in your mouth on the way out.
Anacortes, leaving tonight, while they didn't get the win as a team, go out on a high note with their senior. Josh Pittis collecting the fall.
That is a great way to go, and I wouldn't expect anything but a good match from Josh Pittis.
So, Muda, what do we have left for the season as far as Anacortes wrestling goes?
So we've got a couple away duels. Like we said, this is our last home match. We got a couple away duels, and then each weekend we'll have tournaments, and so we'll kind of break up our team to 2 tournaments. We'll have like a varsity group go to some more competitive tournaments, and our 9th graders, someone who has been wrestling a lot, to some of the newer tournaments to get them some experience for the next 3 weeks, and then we'll start our postseason wrestling, looking to get a few guys to win at that tournament and move on. So once we start that postseason wrestling, if you win and you place at a certain level, you'll move on to the next round and then potentially the state. So we're looking for 3 to 4 at least to be going to state this year. We've had a couple of returning state participants in Josh Pittis, our senior, Aiden Upkiss, our senior, Gavin Lang, our sophomore. But we've got a couple guys that I think we're gonna surprise us.
All right, looks like we have some replays coming our way from earlier matches tonight.
This looks like, can't really tell, that might be Aiden Swain getting the fall. That is awesome. It's a great thing. Or no, that's James Fredericks getting a quick fall. That is a great replay. It's always nice to see some falls. Here's Oscar Funes, and I think we're going to see that quick scramble, how quick he is to cover on, get on top of him, get in the front headlock, and the spin behind for 2 points.
And again, while Oscar didn't get the win tonight, he really did have a really good first 2 periods. Look forward to see how he progresses. He's only a sophomore.
He is a sophomore. Here's Joey Chonka getting on bottom, and Josh Pittis. Like we said, look at that distance outside, sliding around and getting movement. That's a lot more movement than you saw from some of the upper weights.
And that senior experience, I imagine.
Absolutely.
He's as a 4th year, he's kind of seen it all, and now he's hopefully able to kind of coach up the younger guys.
Man, this is great technology. I'm hoping that we're getting a lot of those fans to at least see wrestling here and get comfortable with seeing wrestling, because, I mean, I love teaching here, love coaching here, and hoping to keep this program growing and getting bigger.
And I imagine that these replays are probably pretty beneficial for the wrestlers themselves.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they can go online after tonight,
Absolutely.
kind of check out their own technique, see what they did well, see what they can improve upon for the next match.
Right on. That's absolutely. And I mean, it was good to see. Looking around, we had a decent turnout. I mean, like we said, it was a little bit of a bummer not having the spotlight out. I mean, that's just a whole nother level for you get a handful of people who've never seen wrestling come. That's super awesome.
And again, this is our very first wrestling match here at Williams Gymnasium in Anacortes. While Anacortes didn't leave with the victory tonight, we saw some great things from a lot of good wrestlers. And I think that's all we have for tonight. Again, I'm Spencer Andrich.
I'm Edmundo Corrales. Thanks for being here with us.
And we're going to sign off tonight. We'll see you next time. Thank you.